and welcome to Fast Hard Now News Chasers. I'm John Dickinson.
And I'm Virginia Cummings. In tonight's news, have you noticed your wallet shrinking? Do you know why?
Strippers.
Electric companies have been deregulated since the 1980s.
Consumers were initially promised lower rates and more options for service, but the tables have turned.
And tonight, we go to our senior correspondent, Ben Dober.
Thank you, Virginia. Hello, I am Ben Doble, and I am tonight's expert on the market for electricity. Producers are the companies that create oil, power, and oil. They sell the produced energy to retailers like TXU and Reliant Energy to sell to us, the consumer. In the 1980s, the Public Utility Regulatory Policy Acts, or PULPA, deregulated the electricity companies to combat monopolies. However, retail companies now charge even more than before the act was set in place. So what exactly changes the price on electricity? Why are we being charged so much? Here to talk about this with us is Chief Longshaft.
Hi, I am Chief Longshaft, and why you too should fear deadly polar vortex. Polar vortex is a combination of great storms in Northland that cause terrible freeze in natural gas pipes because pipe freeze, and to make power, hard to make electricity for TP.
So tell us more, Chief. Do you have anything else to show us on this topic?
Yes, I have something huge to show you. These are the charts on this week's weather forecast coupled with electricity prices.
PURPA was introduced in the 1980s. It wasn't until the late 1990s that we started to see small amounts of customer complaints arise. In the early 2000s, Texas began deregulation of the retail electric market. In the following years, as we can see from the chart, there is a large spike of customer complaints by the thousands in Texas.
That is crazy, Chief. Trim my bark and call me sappy, but that does not sit right with me.
I agree, John. I would like to hear more information so we know exactly what's happening to us.
Well, hold on to your underpants, because our next reporter, our undercover reporter, is Layla Consuelo with our next segment, The Scoop.
Hola, I am Layla Consuelo, and this is The Scoop. Throughout the week, I made secret phone calls to the electric companies, mentirosos, and discovered their planes were horrible. First, I heard about the polar vortex, but then daily rates became a more apparent issue. Package plans seem even more skeptical. And those are retail representatives that every consumer will have to speak to. Companies like TXU have been making too much profit without equivalent services and utilities. Since 2008, Texas has had higher than average electric rates. Texans used to pay under 6.4 the national average. Now, Texans pay 8.5 over. Because of PURPA and deregulation, consumers now have to pay $7 billion in stranded costs through taxes. I am Layla Consuelo, and this has been a special segment of The Scoop. Thank you for listening. Back to you, Virginia.
Those of us involved in organizations and local politics can help by paying attention to energy policy changes that won't be displayed openly. Fight for your policy changes in legislature.
Well, that's all the time we have for tonight. I'm John Dickinson.
And I'm Virginia Cummings. This is Fast Hard Now News Chasers.
Stay windy, Corpus Christi.
Energy, between you and me, it's a body shot, electricity. Energy, between you and me, it's a body.
Hi, I hope you enjoyed our video. And I know it was very funny, but we have some very important things to talk about.
The main ethical and moral theories at work in this specific field of study are ethical egoism, psychological, altruism, and social contract theory. Altruism was the beginning theory that spurred the forward movement of the rest of the theories. There was a monopoly-like system that controlled the energy market, and everyone believed that it would become dangerous because of the lack of altruism most people have.
The altruistic move was creating PURPA. Now, PURPA works as a social contract that states an agreement between all three of the parties, producers, retailers, and consumers, in the market that prices would be set at a certain point to ensure no foul play amongst producing companies.
Retailers took this contract as a chance to gain money for themselves, in which case it would fall under the psychological egoism theory.
The psychological egoism dictates that people do, in fact, pursue their own interests. The retail market for electricity is now completely run by people that are only trying to make money for themselves. Now, it is not bad to want to make money. However, it is bad to create a situation in which another party is completely taken advantage of. Altruism, social contracts, and psychological egoism are present.
There must be revisions on PURPA to regulate retail companies as well, instead of just the producers. In order to do this, we, as consumers, have little power and can only help by becoming involved in political action committees, aka PACs, and legislation which is difficult for most to accomplish.
The alternative plan that would bring forth more lucrative results would be to find a different source of energy, switch to solar panels for rechargeable energy, and look for more green plans. If more and more people were to use different sources of energy rather than the common natural gas produced electricity, we would see a change in the market for the better. I hope you enjoyed our video. I hope you learned something as well. Take it in your hands to find your own source of electricity and try to stop the man.
Make it a great day or not, the choice is yours.